You clicked on this video because you want to rank up quickly in the PvE mode of Space Marine 2. As you can see from the screen in the top right corner, I'm at level 25, so max level currently in the game. So you know the method I'm about to show you is very fast. In this video, I will be skipping certain parts of the levels, so I do apologize for not being a true Space Marine. However, you still have to complete the final boss on the hardest difficulty, but I'll get to that part when we need to. As you can see as well, I've maxed out all my weapons, but this will take some time, so don't worry. If you want to do the most damage possible, I do recommend using the sniper build, but just pick whatever class you prefer. You know, you can pick whatever you want, but you can see here, this is my sniper class, which is the fusion rifle or the last puzzle. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm just going to call it the fusion rifle for now. This is the build. If you want to copy it and want to do the most damage, I recommend picking this character. But you want to go straight to the launch bay. Little quick tip here, you can just teleport straight to the location, and you want to head over to the interact button for the PvE mode, and you want to pick the second mission here. The reason you want to choose this mission is that it's the shortest one out of the 6 available. Each PvE mission typically has 5 stages, but in this particular one, you can skip 2 of the stages, so you only need to complete 3, which makes it the fastest out of the 6. Little side note, because I can probably see in my comment section saying something like, why are you promoting this? But if you're a trophy hunter, you probably want to get the platinum quite quickly, or if you pick the wrong class, you can use this method to get back up to speed and play with your mates by doing this method. So maybe you're playing as the assault class and you want to use the sniper class, but your mates are already quite far ahead. You can use this strategy to get back to the same point, or you just want to speedrun the game and play it this way to get to the highest level, but you can just play the game normally. I do recommend use this method only with friends or a group who are willing to do it. It won't work if you're trying to do it in a random lobby, unless the other players are planning to use this method as well. In my experience, it's best to ask in the in-game chat if anyone is speedrunning or if they're just playing normally. Don't really experience for others, and I have noticed that a few players are doing this, so I just thought, hey, why not make a video on it? Just because, you know, you might want to get to a higher level quicker, or if you wanted to find a way to level up each character. And instead of you watching a full 25 minutes video and just watching me run past certain enemies, I'm going to try and speed up as much as possible. So in the starting zone here, you can actually skip this bit. I'm just going to put the video in 2 times speed, so you're not watching the video throughout. But there is a few key parts that I will slow down so I can actually talk about it as well. So the first thing you can actually do is just throw your grenades at the enemies. So if you want to clear them, you can do. And make sure you keep 1 or 2 grenades just in case there is enemies in front of you and you need to make a path for yourself. Especially with the sniper class, it's very easy just to go camouflage. But I know the other classes, it might be a little bit harder to get past the enemies. You do want to check the room to your far left corner. That's why the video is currently slowed down, because there actually might be a armory data. So what these are collectibles in the map. There's usually 1, there could actually be 2. But there's usually only 1 on this mission, and basically what it is it allows you to upgrade your gear, and there will always be 1 in the mission. I've never had a mission where there isn't 1, so make sure you try and look out for it. And the reason why the video is still in slow-mo and you're watching me walk is because there's 1 right here. So this is what an armory data looks like, and you can see that it's on the hardest difficulty because it's gold in the bottom left corner. You will only get this armory data if you basically finish the mission. If you fail at the final boss, you will not actually get the armory data, so just letting you know that just in case you didn't know. You can see here that I'm rolling quite a lot. You know, it is very, very tedious, but again, this is the quickest method and the fastest way to level. You can see that I'm getting closer to the door. My 2 teammates are just behind me. I do recommend slowing down a little bit, because when you get to the door in the left, you want to try and be as grouped as possible, because you want to kill a few of these enemies. If you open the door will actually shut behind you, so you want to try and make sure you're close together. Otherwise, the enemies are just going to pile up in this corner to your left here. Sometimes the armory data can be next to this column to your left. I'm just going to jump down here now if you want to know this little way. You can see here there's an armor boost there for your teammates, and the armory data is usually sometimes in that left corner there as well. It's very important to know that all 3 of you need to be at this door. If you're playing with a bot, the bot will actually teleport to your location. But if there's only 2 of you actually playing and your teammates can all the enemies, that door will not shut behind you. So you need to have all 3 of you to get into this location. So you pretty much skip stage 1. For stage 2, you actually have to do this normally. You can actually run past the enemies and just plant, which you will see that I'm doing right now. Now you can see that some of my teammates are killing the enemies, making sure there's a little bit of a path. This guy's using the shotgun, which is really great to use as well. I'm going to go straight downstairs. So sometimes there's actually 5 charges and sometimes there's only 3. Unfortunately, we have to plant 5, so it's going to take a little bit longer. But I'm just going to run straight to the little area where the mines are. But again, you don't really need to focus on the enemies. You can just plant the charges. Your teammates can do a little bit of damage, making sure the room is a little bit clear so it's not too clustered. But I would recommend someone just make sure they get the charges on. You can see we're on 3 out of 5 already. I've got invisible, and then I'm going to plant this one as well. So now I'm 4 out of 5 charges, and I know one of my teammates is probably doing the 5th. So I'm going to start making my way back upstairs. But again, there's going to be a few mobs, or a few enemies I should say, that are going to basically come over towards you. You can just pretty much avoid them. You can see here I'm not having any of that, and I'm just going to go invisible. And the reason why I didn't use my melee there is because the sniper combat knife is really bad at high ranks. You probably take more damage than you do give damage back. So I would recommend just try and get your ammo back for the fusion rifle. That's the only downside about this weapon, that it only has 12 bullets in a clip, but you can kill literally any enemy in 3 to 2 bullets, which is really good, especially when they're at a higher difficulty. And this weapon does so much damage against the boss. As we make our way down this corridor, I want to let you know that this lift is a bit of a pain in the ass. Basically, all 3 of you could be stood on the lift and there could be a load of mobs behind you still, and they basically just, sometimes the lift gates don't go up and it can be quite annoying. I do recommend scouting this room out as well, just in case there is an armory data, but because I've already collected it, I only know there's only going to be 1. As we go up the stairs, you want to also scout out this room as well. I know quite a few players that have done this method have actually kind of just skipped past this room, but it's really important because there's actually a gene seed in this room, which is basically a XP booster. So you get 550 or 540 XP for doing this. It should be in this corner here. If it's not, sometimes it won't spawn. But if it is, it will be in that corner, which is now very difficult because you're playing on the hardest difficulty and you have to complete this stage here completely normal. And if you do go down on the ruthless or the hardest difficulty, you will lose that gene seed. So you want to make sure you give it to the most experienced player in your team and a person who's going to survive. But you can see here that I'm picking up medkits just to be on the safe side, and there's a guardian relic in the corner here. Also use the game chat as well. I'm just writing in the chat just to make sure people know that there is a guardian relic. So if you're not playing with people who have communication, I'm just going to stand here. You can actually ping as well, but I'm just throwing it in chat. And you're probably wondering, why am I not picking it up? So in the right corner, you can see that you only have 1 slot. I've got the gene seed, so someone else has to pick up the relic shield. Otherwise, I would pick it up, but you can only have it for 1 slot per person. And the good thing about this location here, which is like the stage 3 of this mission, is that there's an ammo cache just right here, so I can just keep getting that ammo over and over again. Even though I've only got 12 bullets, you can actually get it up to 20. But I just recommend you just having the most damage on the weapon, and you can just hit fire and it will just do so much damage and it will kill through multiple mobs. I do need to be careful because I do have the gene seed on me, so I am actually going to move away and throw the grenade, and I'm just going to keep hit firing and keep moving around. The only downside about this class is only having 2 armor plates. I know a lot of people who I do play with on this actual mission have like 4 plates because they're playing more of the heavy type characters. Having 2 plates can be quite stressful, so you want to make sure you use your camo cloak as much as possible, but you also want to be very efficient with it. I would only use it when I'm going for ammo cache or if a teammate is down, just because it allows me to get them back up very quickly and I don't have to worry about trying to pick them up whilst taking damage. And you can see here that this sniper is absolutely amazing. I'm actually going to execute to get an armor plate back, and I'm just going to keep shooting as much as possible. And instead of me just showing you the full fight scene, because you're probably getting bored of it by now, I'm just going to show you the next step. So once you finish the actual stage, you can see here that I've still got my gene seed in the corner. You also want to check if there's an armory data in this corner here, so it'll be in that far left corner of the lift. So once you get to this room, you just want to make sure you check this room out if you don't already have the armory data, but we've already got it, so it's not in that location. And now you can pretty much skip all the way to the end of the boss. This is pretty much what I was talking about. You don't really need to do that much fighting. I know I'm not being a proper space marine, but I've already mentioned if you want to do this method, you can. If you don't have to. And the good thing about doing this as a, fastest way to level up or character boosting or whatever you want to call this, essentially it will get easier over time, because when you first do it, you're probably quite low level. You might be like level 8, level 15. But if you do this about 6 or 7 times, you'll start to go through the levels very, very quickly, and your weapons will start to become a lot better as well. So essentially this will get easier and easier over time, and you'll pretty much have the best weapons, and you'll be able to kill some of these enemies very, very quickly. You can see here that my mate is talking in the chat, or it's actually a guy I actually met from the game. You can see here that I'm just going to skip past the enemies, and we're pretty much at the boss scene already. So I'll stop the video, and this is where you're going to have to play normally, guys. This is not easy. It will take you a few attempts to get used to it, but with good communication and a great strategy, you should be able to do it. So this is why I recommend using the sniper class. You'll see how much damage the fusion rifle does. Just look at his health bar getting chunked. The only problem about doing the most damage, he's more likely to come towards you. The boss will choose the person who does the most damage. So you want your teammates to try and distract him and just keep meleeing him. Otherwise, he's going to focus you. But you can see here that my mates are doing a great job of actually holding him off. But he is right next to me, and I'm trying to run away because I am so bad at close range with the sniper class. You will basically die, especially with only 2 armor plates. You want to try and get yourself some distance, and you want to turn around and try and shoot the boss. You can see here that those 2 are fighting. Unfortunately, he's gone down, and I don't actually have my cloaking up, which is very, very annoying. But I will tell you now, having the perk where you dodge and get your cloak back up literally saved my life. So pretty much as I got cloaked for like a few seconds, the boss de-aggroed me and went over to him again, which is really, really good for me, because I allowed to put the boss into the second stage, which gives a little bit of breathing room. But you can see here the shockwave here. These shockwaves do so much damage to you, so you want to be very, very careful. You want to make sure you dodge the shockwaves as much as possible. And you can see that I've only still got 12 bullets, so I'm going to need to stay near this ammo cache as much as possible. You're going to see here that I've gone invisible to get the ammo cache. This is a bit risky from me. I'm going to take the meds. Make sure you look around the area as well for boxes. See if there's any armor boosts that you can pick up. This stage is not too bad. All you need to do is to roll and run away. If you die from the circles, then, very questionable. The shockwaves is understandable, because the shockwaves is very hard to predict, but the circles, you know where they're going to land. You can see here that I've got some range on him, and he doesn't like me. You can see that he's now back on me. You want to make sure you dodge roll. Oh, you can see that I failed it twice, and you can see how much damage it's done to me. But I'm still quite far away from him, but I've only got 2 bullets. You can see in the top left corner as well that my teammate's going to be back up soon. So I'm going to make sure I try and stay alive. My teammate's been a bit of a chad here. He's actually taking the aggro off me. The only really annoying thing is I need to get ammo, but because I can't get to that location because he's there, I'm going to have to try and survive. So I'm going to have to use my cloak. I think it came up from the dodge. And I know in this right corner that there might be some ammo or some boosts. You can see here that I managed to dodge. You've got some ammo here. Make sure you check in this corner here. This is a spot where a lot of people don't check. I actually hit the jackpot and got a stim. And then there you go. You can see that I've got more ammo. You can see that I've gained some distance from the actual boss. Then we'll actually just sit here and just pop away. Just look at the top left corner when I'm doing damage. Like, look how good this weapon is, guys. I got told that the bolt rifle is better than this weapon. How nah, guys? This weapon is the one, I'm telling you. Gonna go invisible. For some reason, my game kind of glitches out here. I'm trying to lock onto the boss and it locks onto the mobs. You can see here, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to try and pick up the ammo again. And you can see here, we completed the final boss on Ruthless without me going down because I've still got the Gene Seed, which you'll see in a second. So usually this mission will probably take like 40 minutes, probably. You can probably do it in about 20-25 minutes if you've got a good team. You can see you've got the victory screen, and then you can see the 5 stages that we've done. Pretty much only had to do 3, and we gained 2,455 XP because I got the gene seed as well. And you can see that I still did a lot of damage, especially for skipping quite a few enemies. And you can see that as well, went from 21 all the way to level 23. So gaining 2,500 XP in probably 25 minutes is probably the best way to do this if you just want to get it out of the way, or if you want to use another character and get them up to pace very quickly. If you've enjoyed today's video, guys, don't forget to leave a like and a comment and a cheeky sub. It does go a long way. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.